Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome back. I'm Scott, that's Michael. We're shooting a video out on the dock today. We're talking about all the negatives, the cons, the things that you might not know about living at Lake of the Ozarks. And maybe these are negatives for you or cons, maybe they're not, but either way, we wanted to shoot a quick video, have a little fun, tell you some things you might not know about lake life and what it looks like to actually live at Lake of the Ozarks year round. So hey, first things first, let's figure out where we are. Let's pull up a map of Missouri. On one side you have Kansas City, on the other side you have St. Louis. So go to the middle, go down, that's where you're gonna find the lake. Now when you're looking at the lake, it looks like an ancient Chinese dragon, so I'm always referring to different parts of the lake, different parts of the dragon, depending on where you are. You got the head, the neck, the belly, the legs, and the tail that goes all the way down to Warsaw. So when you're looking at the lake, depending on, again, where do you wanna live, where are the amenities, depends on maybe where you are on the dragon, and really, that's kind of the first thing that we want to talk about, which is the layout and the understanding that this is just a big lake in the middle of nowhere, as I put it, right? We're just a big lake in the middle of Missouri. And with that, there's not your major big city amenities readily available all the time. So if you're a big city person and you love major sporting events and big concerts and art districts and you want to just walk to go get a coffee, like this isn't the spot for you. This is not going to be a good place for you. However, if you don't want that stuff and you're looking for a little bit of separation, a little bit of peace and quiet, some tranquil type living, this could be. The folks that live here that do enjoy major sporting events and big city stuff typically will take a day or a 2-day trip and they'll just go up to the Kansas City or the St. Louis market. They'll get their big city feel. And then they'll make their way back to their lake house, right? They'll make their way back home and they'll live a little bit more of a peaceful lifestyle. So that's just something that people got to understand here, that Costco, Sam's Clubs, there's no major sporting teams. You're not going to have that big city stuff. It's going to be a little bit more remote living.
Yep, absolutely. And the other piece that we find is that people that don't understand the lake is we need to have a geography conversation around the topography, right? So there's not a single cross street anywhere. Right, we have 5 bridges total, but across the cove, you can see the houses we're looking at across the cove, and they can be an hour and a half from each other by car. Right? So there's a little bit of wrapping your head around that, right? As far as maybe a con goes. The other piece is with more and more remote work, with more and more things that we're doing with streaming, internet can be challenging, and so it can be cellular. There are many areas of the lake that don't have either, and we have solutions for all of that. But between the drive time between the two, people have to get used to that. Things like radio, I mean, we have satellite radio in our boats and our cars. The radio signals don't really bounce these hills very well. It's those little things like that. That being said, though, it makes the pros make up for some of those nuances. Right? And for some people, and I happen to be one of them, I think you and your wife are too, it doesn't bother us. We have workarounds for all of that type of stuff too. The other piece is if you want to get out of those big rat races, right? So we talk to clients all the time from large major cities. They don't want any of that. They're fine with a 2.5 hour or 3 hour drive to St. Louis or Kansas City. They go for the weekend, right? No big deal, and especially if you're here full time.
Yeah, and he hit on it and talked quickly through it and understanding the topography, the lay of the land, right? Like Lake of the Ozarks is man-made, right? Flooded the Ozark mountain range. So just picture any mountain range that gets dammed up and flooded, right? You're gonna have steep hills everywhere, big trees, big hills. Like, to think about driving around that, it's difficult and very eye-opening. And you know, some of the major roads around here, like Highway 7 and 5 and things, we have friends that will come into town and be like, man, I'm surprised that that's a 55-mile-an-hour road. If you're not paying attention and eyes up and phone down, you're not only dealing with the curves and the steepness, but wildlife, right? Like your wildlife out here will catch you off guard real quick. If you start to look at your phone or try to like find something in the back seat, you're gonna be in trouble. So driving around here, just from the challenges of the roads and the steepness, the curvedness, there is no gritty pattern, there's no big city, nothing makes sense, basically. Getting around is hard enough. Then you toss in the distance from one location to another, right? So wherever you live to where you have to go, because of those roads and small roads, like speed limits, like it's going to take you a lot longer than what you think.
Right.
So looking at the lake from a map, cool. I go here to here, doesn't seem like it's that far.
Right.
Here to here might take you 45 minutes, right? And especially if you make friends with that guy over there, if you're not going to take your paddleboard across or take your boat or swim, it might take you 45 minutes just to drive to that side of the lake, because there are only so many bridges that cross, and you got to get out of the lake in order to kind of come back down into it. It's hard to probably articulate. It's obviously way easier to show you. So we always encourage you to call us and come into town so we can drive you around and prove this point.
Right.
But the lay of the land is tricky. It's hills, it's curves. So the driving component, which Michael talked about, was super important. The other component that most don't know is, yes, Wi-Fi coverage, cell signals. That stuff is hard when you're looking at steep terrain and curves and like trees and all that kind of stuff. So if you need high-speed internet, you need an amazing cell signal, and you're buying a home from a distance, well, you better get that right. And you better get it right by the people that you ask to help you find those properties, because there's no fixing it. You've bought a property that doesn't have a cell or you can't get Wi-Fi at, and you need it for your job or communication, you're in trouble.
Yeah, and I would say the other piece that surprises people is there's we don't really have public transportation, right?
Correct.
There are a few individuals that do a ride share type service. It's typically during season on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sometimes on Monday. Typically, there's a bus service that is for people that are retired, generally speaking. But you don't have a lot of those services that you have. The other piece, though, we talked a little bit about shopping and retail. The one thing that's been great is the growth of Amazon. So we can get things in a shorter order if we need to, but at the same time, if you just need to run down the street for some sort of computer electronics or something for your office, you're just not going to get that.
You're just not.
You're going to get the normal Lowe's, Home Depot, Menards, but the type of things that you might need for your house, furniture, those type of things. So those are things that we have come up with workarounds and resources for all of this, but we have clients that close on a house, they think they're going to go get their furniture delivered in 2 days, and it's usually 10 days out to 3 weeks out to get furniture delivery down here.
Because of the location and where we are and the amenities around, a lot of things aren't just readily available right now. And we're a society of instant gratification, and we want things super quick. And you got to understand that that's not why you're maybe choosing to live lake life. So if that's something you need, again, maybe not the spot for you. Again, I think there are a lot of people that are looking to separate from that world. Disconnect a little bit, and I'm okay with a little bit of time and a little bit of patience. It kind of depends on who you are and what you're looking for and why you're moving here.
Exactly. The wildlife nuisances, you did touch on that. What's interesting is a lot of people don't think about this. We don't really have mountains, so the deer are here year round. Right, so they don't leave in the summer, right? But at nighttime in the early morning, they come down to the lake to drink. Right, so like between our house, they come between the houses all the time.
All the time.
We see them in our driveway. We see them out here, on the seawall. It's crazy how we see them. They're everywhere down here too. Now the healthcare piece is actually getting much better, I will say. And we just did an exercise today about job opportunities. I think if you're in the service industry or you're in the hospitality industry, literally you can have a job in 24 hours. That is not a problem. I think if it's more of a professional style, office-y style job, yes, this is a second home resort market. Those are very limited.
Yeah, so understanding what you need, who you are, your why for coming here. There are plenty of service and labor type work, right? You just got to be careful. If you're in tech or something like that, you might not need it. Another thing to kind of touch on real quick on maybe potentially some cons is understanding that you're looking at living remote life. You're nestled into nature and trees and next to a big body of water. You have a single family home that'll come with a certain type of like maintenance. Right? It's gonna come with the upkeep of your property, and I know like every spring I gotta like power wash the crap off my house.
Oh yeah, like, absolutely.
So, cobwebs and dirt and all the things, like you gotta do a good cleaning on your property. You gotta power wash that stuff off. There's some seawall maintenance if you have lakefront property. There's dock maintenance. There's things that you have to kind of maintain and upkeep on some of those single family homes that you're probably not gonna have in other parts of the country. Right. So depending on, again, who you are and why you're here, are you retiring? Are you moving your family? Do you have kids that can help with that? But you got to understand what just the cleaning component of some of these houses can look like.
Yeah, and let's not forget the bugs. The bug game is crazy.
I was going to move into the bugs after that because the bug game is no joke.
But the pressure washing of your driveways, house docks, the normal maintenance just from the normal weather, right? From either the sun or the winter, on the exterior of the homes, the dock maintenance is an annual maintenance because it is sitting on water. It is floating on water. We have boats in there. The boats are lifted, out of the water. Ours is behind us here. I don't think you can see it in our shot. But you have a dock maintenance, environment. You've got a house maintenance environment, a deck maintenance environment, and what does that look like? So all of that together are things that all of that combined together becomes part of your overall annual budget, if you will, and things you have to do from a maintenance standpoint. Now, that being said, in the condo environment, we don't have that, right? So the condo environment puts us in a place where the HOA management company's taking care of all that. All you're doing is paying your assessment fees or your HOA fees and whatnot. So from that perspective, it does make life a little bit easier and puts you in a place where you can just enjoy the house, enjoy the lake, and what does that look like, right? So the house, single family detached home is going to be very different than a condo. And then if you have a dock, and what does that look like, and what does the maintenance look like? But again, we have people for all of that to manage all of that.
We do have resources for literally everything that you might need, from landscaping to any type of home improvement, dock maintenance. 1000% bug guys.
Oh my gosh, the bug guys.
The bug guy, the bug guy might be the most important guy in your world.
Yeah.
And it is no joke, right? It was a pleasant surprise when we bought our home and moved down here. I don't think they had a bug guy for the first however many years, and we almost sold it and moved, but it's a real thing, right? So making sure that you have the right guy with the right spray. You get the outside of the property, get the inside. They can come down and put essential oils and certain things on the dock. You can't spray certain chemicals, obviously, because it's water, but you got to do something to protect yourself from the bugs, right? Again, you're in a canopy of trees next to a big body of water. You're going to have bugs. It's a real thing.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
You're having protected.
But here's what I'll tell you, and my wife was like, if we got bugs or I see bugs, I'm out, right? And I tell you, honestly, knock on wood, we really don't have any bugs. We have the house done and the dock done every month. We do the interior about once a quarter, easy stuff. And a lot of times, too, it's about just normal cleanliness, inside and out. But we have found a way to manage through it almost painlessly.
It's one of those things where you get it going, you keep it going.
Yes.
Right? So don't stop and start and do all that nonsense. When you got it going, keep it going. So hey, we just want to come out again, have a little fun, shoot a video. It's a beautiful summer day. We've been out on the water. We started thinking about and talking about some some negatives or some things that people don't think about when they're moving to a certain area, and we goof around, we have a little fun with it. But hey, if you're a big city slicker and you need all of that stuff readily available right now, this is probably not the spot for you. But I think if you're looking at this spot, you're probably doing it because you want distance and separation. You want a little bit of calm, a little bit of peace. As you can hear birds and geese and things, you're looking for nature, but understanding what
does that mean?
You're gonna drive in nature. You're gonna have to look out for deer and things running across the road. You're gonna have to deal with some bugs and gotta get some those are the things that we like to have conversations with you about, share those things. I know we joke and we goof about it, but at the end of the day, I think the most of you are choosing to live here for the lifestyle. You understand that you're not going to have everything readily available, but you also have to be smart about it too. And cell coverage, Wi-Fi coverage, steep driveways, steep roads, the topography of your particular property, and all those things are super important. And if you're shopping from a distance, at the end of the day, man, you got to get it right.
Yeah.
You got to get it right, and you have to have the right people to help you get it right.
We really recommend, and when we have a chance to have a consultative conversation, we've got to get you here. There's just no doubt about it. And you don't need to come for a week. I mean, actually, 2 days is plenty. 3 be even better. But just a short week. Also, a pro tip, especially during the summertime, people are using their places, right? And if they're currently a short-term rental, they're usually booked. So typically, we recommend house shopping and touring on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. Typically, weekends can be very difficult to get into anything at all. So that's just a pro tip. But I think when we get people here and they see the topography, we can start to identify, and I can do it within a couple of hours, and we can fine tune the next day, and then your time is very meaningful, right? And so you'll see properties that fit your criteria. You'll give a little on this side to get a little on this side, kind of thing, once we meet each other and see what's important.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're thinking of moving, relocating, retiring, investing, short-term rentals, whatever it is, there's some things that you got to think about. At the end of the day, we have a resource for everything.
Yep.
So
Yep.
any guy, any company, any service, any needs that you would have in making a decision to move here, just let us help you, right? Like, we're just here to be a resource. You don't got to buy from us or anything, but like, just let us be a resource. We have every contact that you can need. So call us, text us, email us. Obviously, we would love for you to come into town so we can show you around and put a little bit more clarity on what this area is to look like. So we have a lot of fun with it, fun shooting these videos. It's even more fun connecting with you. So reach out when you got time. And until then, we'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.